are welcome to Session 2 of Unit 1 of Curriculum Studies in Chemistry. This session will take you through perspectives of curriculum, and we will discuss 4 of them. I am your course facilitator, Nihad Goni. By the end of this session, we should be able to explain the curriculum perspectives according to various schools of thought. The schools of thought we'll be looking at are the rationalists, the empiricists, the pragmatists, and the existentialists. Whenever decisions are being made for curriculum, the sources of information that we rely on to guide the process are from various schools of thought. Now that is what curriculum perspectives are. Perspectives of curriculum are theories of knowledge, which are an important source of curriculum decision. Dewey says that what goes into the curriculum is heavily dependent on these perspectives or schools of thought. There are a number of curriculum perspectives that you should be familiar with as a teacher. But in this session, we will look at the theories of rationalists, the empiricists, the pragmatists, and the existentialists. The philosophy of rationalism states that knowledge is previously known and gathered in all human beings, and that knowledge is acquired through reason without the aid of the senses. The rationalist believes that knowledge is not acquired over time or through various experiences, but that knowledge is intrinsic to every member of the human race. And so, to the rationalist, true knowledge is achieved by the mind, and it is acquired through a series of revelations. To them, knowledge is acquired in 3 ways: through deduction, through innate ideas and reasons, which are all of the mind. To the empiricist, it's all about evidence. And so they think that true knowledge is derived from evidence. How do I get this evidence? They believe that true knowledge comes from the evidence that you get through your senses, through your 5 senses. How you see, the things you hear, the taste on your tongue, how you feel. These are the ways that you can gain knowledge. For the pragmatist, the realist, they believe that knowledge is hypothetical and constantly changes. And so you gain knowledge when you have experienced it. That we just don't impose knowledge on a learner, but it is a learner's personal activity that helps him to gain the knowledge when he has experienced it by himself. And normally it is socially constructed, because the environment you find yourself, the social environment you find yourself, give you the experiences you have. And so, to the pragmatist, true knowledge is socially constructed. Let's look at the existentialist, which is also the phenomenalist point of view. To them, knowledge is personal and subjective. How I view my knowledge or how I gain my experience is different from how another person will get it, and that it is unique to everyone, depending on its own perception of the world. They believe that education should be less formal, and then the curriculum should be diverse, not common for all, but then you should look at the individual, personal, unique perception for the gaining of his knowledge. How a person views the curriculum relates to what the learner, the teacher, his method and curriculum would be. And so, for the schools of thought that we have earlier discussed, let's look at how it relates to these areas. To the rationalist, who believes that learning is of the mind and true knowledge is through revelation, the teacher is the source of ideas, facts and information, and he gives all this information to the learner, who serves as the recipient of the information. He does this through drilling, lecturing subject-based. And so, the curriculum for such a teacher, from the rationalist point of view, should be the subject matter of the symbol and idea. Because the rationalist learns through the mind, the subject matter should be the symbols and ideas that will be incorporated in the mind of the learner, and he will accept it and gain through knowledge. To the empiricist, who is all about evidence, the learner is the recipient of the information, But then the teacher is the demonstrator of the process. He is going to demonstrate for the learner to gain the knowledge through his senses. The teacher can use the lecturing and the teacher-centered approach to help the empiricists to gain the knowledge. Also, the curriculum for the empiricists should be the subject matter of the physical world, which will give him the evidence to learn. To the pragmatist, the realist, the learner experiences the knowledge. The teacher is the project director or the researcher who guides the learner to experience the knowledge. He does this through the inquiry method, the participatory approach, and the problem-solving approach of teaching. And then, the curriculum for the pragmatist is based on problem-solving. It is hypothetical and subject to change problem projects, because the pragmatist believes that learning should be experienced, and so the learner will have to go through these. For the existentialist, knowledge is personal and subjective, so the learner is the ultimate chooser for the experience he wants to undergo, and the learner seeks to search for personal identity. The teacher is just a facilitator of the choices the learner should take or would choose. Can use the inquiry and the discovery methods of teaching, and the curriculum should be based on the choices. It should not be rigid and too formal, but then it should be based on the choices of the individual learner. Assess ourselves with these few questions. 1. Which curriculum perspective holds for the following statement? A. That knowledge is personal and subjective. B. That knowledge is based on evidence. C. That teachers are sources of ideas and information. And D. That learners must experience knowledge. 2. State the role of the teacher from the pragmatist perspective of curriculum. We have come to the end of this session. In this session, we looked at the curriculum perspective from the rationalist point of view, the empiricist, the pragmatist, and the existentialist. Then we looked at the relationship from these perspectives to the learner, the teacher, the method of teaching, and the curriculum that the teacher would use, looking at the school of thought. Thank you, and see you in our next session.